Okay, looks like we're live. Sorry guys, I had a few technical hitches to try and alleviate. Not entirely sure what it was. One of those situations where you just turn everything off, turn it back on again, and we're good to go. So looks like we're working out. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. I'm always a bit paranoid that, you know, I'm sat here talking to myself and no one can hear me, but hopefully it's all functioning okay. There's a mass of people here already in the chat room, so I'm going to just have a quick look through. People have been in here for ages by the looks of it. So thank you all for coming and joining us. We got Roadrunner Reviews, he's here. Richard Rendell's here. Mike Gamber's over in Tennessee. It says he looks like he's the bronze medalist in the chat. Who else have we got here? Lee Arbres is here. Jack Ash 1975. Who else have we got? Tim Platt's here. He's been out running. Tim Platt's been out in the rain today. It's pretty wet today, I've got to be honest, here in the UK. Chris McLean's here. Very fitting title for tonight's live stream. Absolutely, I got drenched earlier on, Chris. It was really wet out there. Really wet. Who else have we got? Joe Mullins here. Hello, Joe. Joe, got to tell you, big news. I've managed to secure a pair of the Nike Nike React Infinity Run 2. They should be here tomorrow, so look out tomorrow for my initial review of those. I managed to grab them. They came up on a site here in the UK and I didn't hesitate. I got in there quickly. So hopefully they'll be here tomorrow and I can get out there for a run in them. I've no idea what the conditions are going to be like tomorrow. It's probably not going to be a shoe that's great in the wet, but if they're here, I'll put them through their paces and see how they work out. I know you were big on that shoe, Joe. I know you enjoyed that one, so that's coming up tomorrow, hopefully. We've got Stephen C is in the house. He was he was out in the rain today as well. Blimey, there's loads of people here. Ben Y, we got Rob Weatherall's in the place. Joe McCluskey, David Brine is here as well. Oh, sorry, Byron is here as well. Ben Y's in London, I believe. I think it's probably been similar weather in London today. Chris McLean says, did I get told off for putting the shoes in the tree? Yes, she wasn't best pleased about that, but I'm certainly going to do it for the second part. You know, once you've done it once, you've got to do it again, right? Okay. Who else have we got here? Jack Ash says he's been reprimanded. I was. She wasn't very pleased about that. Oh, LOL Monster 87, thank you for the super chat. It's a picture of Beast. I love that picture. That is pretty much what Beast looks like. Slightly more streamlined these days, Beast. She doesn't like the new cat food for some reason. She's just not into it. It's smaller pieces rather than the larger pieces of cat food that she was into. She only ever likes dry cat food. She's not into the wet stuff. So yeah, she's not into that. But thank you very much for the super chat. It's much appreciated. Just to make sure I haven't missed anyone. Pocket Rockets is in the house. We've got Jason Q, Replicant. I like that. That's cool. Gavin Braden's here, coming in loud and clear, he says. Sion Roberts is here. We got Aaron as well in the Isle of Man. Sion says in Leland. Oh, I can't pronounce it. Lelandudno in North Wales. I think my father-in-law is sometimes over in North Wales, or at least when the lockdown's not on. Sometimes he's working over that way. Who else have we got here? Yeah, Gavin says absolutely abysmal in Belfast today. So bad he had to hose down the dog after a walk. Sion says, what's the fresh looking grey and orange shoe? It is actually the Air Max 3 that I managed to pick up the other day. I was thinking about selling these on, but I might actually hang on to them now just for casual use. Not sure there's going to be any running done in this one. It's pretty heavy shoe, but by all accounts there was some quite famous runners actually back in the 90s that used these. How's it? Steve Monaghetti, the Australian runner. I think he actually won the Great North Run around that period as well. I don't think he was wearing a pair of Air Max 90s, but or the Air Max 3. This is dual airbags in this one. It's a nice shoe though. Super box fresh, that one. Box fresh. Richard Rendell's been out. He's done 7 miles in the rain. Awesome stuff. Got to get out there in the rain. Keeps you cool. Yeah, Ben White says drizzling in London. It's been absolutely chucking it down here all day. I managed to get out. I did 6 miles. I had a bit of tightness in my right hip early when I got up, basically. Maybe I slept on it a bit strangely or something. And it was troubling me in the morning. I thought I'll give it till midday, see how it is, whether I should go out running or not. And I used the React Legend 3 shields, and it just went away. The problem just went away after 6 miles. I thought that's me done. I'm pretty much full of water now. We'll call it a day. But yeah, it worked out all right today with that shoe. Gulshan Paul says, Ed, most cushioned shoe for mixed road and trail running. Do you know what? I'd go for that Innovate, the G270. That shoe is actually going to be in my top 10 of the year of just all shoes. I'm sort of putting that together at the moment, but that's definitely got to be in there. That would be my best shoe for multi-terrain like that. We've got Jane. She says, hi from Orlando. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's definitely not 80 here. It's a bit milder today, maybe about 9 Celsius, I think, today. But it's very wet. It's like an ocean out there at the moment. One JBS 76. Yeah, I'm just going to use the Nike Air Max 3s as casual Christmas wear. I think that's going to be my my Christmas shoe, that one. Unless I manage to get a pair of those Jordan 4s in the fire red. Can't believe I missed those. Can't believe it. I thought this will be easy, an easy pickup, but no, they sold out in moments. Kevin Bickerton says, have I used the Garmin Coach feature? I haven't tried that out yet, actually. I've got a review coming up this week of the Pace 2 from Coros. I've been really enjoying that watch from a HCI perspective. I just like the ease of use. It's just got like a dial, and that is clickable as well. And then you've got another button. It's just super simple. And I've got to be honest, I'm kind of enjoying the simplicity of the Coros perhaps a little bit over the multitude of buttons. It's like 5 buttons on the 245. So I haven't used that feature yet. Maybe I'll dig in a little bit around Christmas time and try out some of the software that is present, that comes complete with the Garmin ecosystem. I haven't really tried it out. Paul Kane says he did 14 in the rain and wind, and out and back, and it was horrendous. Yeah, that 10-mile route that I do coming back, I always seem to hit the wind. He said it was like 20 miles an hour today at one point. And it was certainly tough going. I hit a park actually at one point and just did a few laps of the park to bring the mileage up, and that was like a bog. You know, I can't imagine anyone playing football on that anytime soon. It was really boggy out there. Rune Bond Jensen says, hi from Copenhagen. Today the sun was up for the first time in 16 days. Oh wow, oh, I'm glad the sun was out for you, warming you guys up a little bit. Rooster's here. He says he's going to check him out, leaning towards the mud claws. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Do check the 270s. They're worth looking at, certainly. David Reed. Oh, respect is due. 18 kilometres pushing the 1-year-old in the buggy. He had his Boston 9s, a gentle drizzle. A light drizzle. Awesome. Mark Hawkins says, are you getting on with the Puma Optimus Prime? I need to get out again in those. It certainly wasn't the day for it today. But yeah, I'll perhaps get out in those again this week. And test them out. They were a nice snappy shoe, actually. I was really quite surprised by that. I'm glad you managed to get a pair of those. Mark Weeson says he remembers buying the Air Maxes in 1988. Yeah, there was a chap at my school. He was in the so this is secondary school. So for those of you in perhaps the US or other countries, that's kind of the school you're in between 11 and 15, 16. And there was a chap in the highest year group, and he had a pair of the blue MX 90s. And I always used to ask him questions about them, even though I was like in the lowest year of the school. And he really liked me because I was into his trainers and stuff. And I remember he gave me the tag that he had with the shoes, and it was like, wow, this is so cool. One day I'm going to have a pair of these, and I never managed to get them. So I've righted that wrong now, though. They're a nice shoe. Nice shoe. Mike Gamba says, looking for more underfoot cushion than the the Rocket X, but the smoothness of the Rocket X delivers in the gait cycle. Yeah, I really like the Rocket X. I just have that issue on the outside of my foot with the lacing. It just seems to dig into a part of my foot that is really uncomfortable. It just takes your mind away from running and more about your feet, and that's not a good thing, especially if you're trying to really get to your peak. Rob Weatherall says, decided to give running a miss today, and he did some high intensity workouts. That was my only one high intensity workout of the day, was running around in that today, Rob. Other than that, I just ate some pizza, and we had some really nice fish, dauphinoise potatoes, and some cabbage as well. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Miss EDDBUD excelled herself today. I can't be in the bad books that much, can I, if she cooked up something so wonderful. She is a fantastic lady, that's for sure. Steve Arenberg says, perfect topic, not loving traction on the Hyperion Tempo or the 1080. Yeah, the 1080, that was the Achilles heel of that shoe a little bit slippery, with those sort of smooth lugs on the outside. And the Hyperion Tempo, yeah, I can imagine that not really working out that well. Yeah, I haven't got them here because they're drenched. They're drying out. But the Legend 3 React Legend 3 shields today, they were great. They were really assured underfoot. They've got quite an interesting lug pattern. I mean, they're a little bit heavier on foot, but they worked really well today. No issues with lacing on that shoe either. I think I've got about 20 odd miles into them now, and I'm really enjoying those slower everyday sort of miles in that shoe. Really lovely feel underfoot. I love it. NV, no, the React shields were great today. I paired them up with my Sealskins waterproof socks, and they were great. Absolutely perfect today. It was so wet out there. If I'd worn I think I was going to try and do the long run in the SL20.2, but my feet would have been absolutely drenched within like half a mile. It was that wet out there. So NV says, ready for school tomorrow, Ed. So we've got lessons are all shut now. We've closed up. No more lessons this week. So it's going to be admin, marking bits and pieces, and then I think we finish properly on Thursday, I think it is. So yeah, got a little bit of time to take stock of where we are and just kind of tie up loose ends and stuff this week. So that's good. Now I can really concentrate. I'll probably try and knock out a couple of videos a week on the run up till Christmas to keep all you guys entertained while you're wrapping your presents and all that sort of stuff. Tony Harvey says he bought the Run Fast on my recommendation. Test them out today in the rain. Awesome. Hope they worked out well for you, Tony. Enjoyed that shoe this year. Chris McLean says that the G270 isn't up to the job for our current UK Mudfest. Yeah, I did take those out on Friday, I think it was, Chris. Just for a really short, like 4 miles over a nearby trail, and it was a bog, basically. I couldn't really run all that much in certain areas. It was dangerous, really. I was just going to injure myself. Maybe that's why my hip's a bit tight, actually. It could be where I slipped a couple of times there, and I was trying to sort of right myself and jarred it a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, the 270, certainly on out and out mud is probably not a good idea. Scotty B says, he says, howdy Ed, how you doing, Scotty? Thanks for tuning in. He says he's checking in from Minnesota. It's currently 15 Fahrenheit and snowing. A snow run tomorrow. Awesome. I'm not sure what I'd use if I had to run in the snow. Probably the 270s. Or the Torrent 2, which is another one of those shoes I've got to get some more miles into at some point. There's many shoes like that. Many shoes. Oh, need extra energy today, guys. Extra energy is required. Steve Arenberg says, did I enjoy the Beacon 3? I wouldn't suggest traction's great on the Beacon 3. YouTube's just flashing at me that I may have a bit of an issue with the stream. So I don't know if it's chopping out. I'm on an Ethernet cable here, so it's a bit odd that it is doing that. We'll have to see. If it gets really bad, let me know, guys, in the chat. But the Beacon 3, yeah, I just didn't like the fit of the Beacon 3. It was the heel area, really. Just felt like a bit of a backward step, I suppose, from the Beacon 1. I didn't try the 2, so yeah, it wasn't the greatest for me this year. Not the worst by any stretch, but certainly not one of the greatest. Frank, I'm not sure if Innovate have a super long run shoe. I didn't find the G270 all that aggressive, really. It was it's a really cushioned shoe to me. It's certainly somebody that's tried out a handful of trail shoes. This one just felt really nice, and really, I don't know what the word is, I suppose, just nicely cushioned, more cushioned perhaps than some road shoes out there. Oh, that's a really kind of you, Joel McCluskey, for that super chat. Really kind. He says, thanks for keeping us all entertained and superbly informed. Merry Christmas to you and your family. See you in some southern races next year. Awesome. Thank you, Joel. That's really kind with that super chat. I do appreciate it a great deal. Mane is in the house from Denmark. He says hello to you. Thanks for tuning in. Triple R says, any word on the Sarah Hall shoe? That'll be his first shoe of 2021. I don't know. I've not heard anything more about that. I did spot a picture earlier on with 3 ladies. I know Des was one of them wearing the Hyperion Elites, the Hyperion Elite 2. And there was another lady there I didn't recognise who appeared to be wearing that ASICS shoe. It wasn't Sarah Hall either, so I haven't heard any more about that. Ben Y says, did you see the runners video about race walking? British guy set a record for 5k at 18:21. What, from that sort of walking style? That is just ridiculous. That's why you've got to have one foot on the ground, isn't it? You're not allowed to have both feet off of the ground. I don't know how they test that, though. How do you even test it? It reminds me of that dude that could speak really quickly, and they used to slow down what he was saying to see, you know, how long or how many words he'd said in like a minute or something. How do you know that they've done that throughout the whole thing? Tony Potter says, have I reviewed the Mach 4? No, I haven't reviewed that one yet, Tony. I've got to be honest, I'm going to have a little break from Hoka stuff for the minute. Because the Clifton 7, the Rincon, not so much with the Torrent 2, but certainly the Rocket X as well, they've all just caused me issues. Like every single shoe. The Clifton, I used to have to tighten it so much to get a good lockdown. The Rocket X is just causing an issue on my right foot. The Torrent 2 was okay, but I've only done a couple of runs in that. And the Rincon was just super narrow, so I'm just going to give them a break for just a little bit and then maybe revisit some Hoka stuff in the new year, perhaps. Give it a couple of months, just to see what pops up that might work for me. So I don't want to sort of badmouth a shoe or a model or manufacturer or whatever. I try and be honest with my opinions and keep an open mind. on any of the shoes that I use, be they very inexpensive or very expensive. I kind of put them all on a level playing field, I suppose. So yeah, I'll give them a bit of a break for a while. Paul Kane says the RC Elite grip is unreal. I've got to be honest with you, very, very good actually. In the rain, the grip is great. The only problem I had with that shoe was that the upper just soaks up moisture like nothing else. It's really odd. I found that this section of the shoe just soaks up loads and loads of moisture. I did use these yesterday for a training session nearby. I did some mile repeats. So I did a warm-up mile, mile repeat in threshold sort of zone. So it was about 6 minutes, 30 seconds per mile. And then just a really easy mile, just repeated that 3 times. Just to get some sort of threshold pace miles in for the week. Because it's all been slower miles really for me this week. I'm not sure why. That's just kind of felt like that, I guess. It's been a tough week. There's been a lot going on this week. We've got a few other people joining in. Calvin Kwan is here from California. How you doing? Cathal Mullin says, when am I going to do a full review of my music collection? Oh, it would take forever. There's thousands of CDs and vinyl, and it would take a long time. I might do like a best of, or my favourite 10 albums of the year, or something like that very soon. MV says, do my students watch my videos? Yeah, I think some of them do. Hopefully I've inspired a few of them to get out and run and do some more exercise. I teach computing, so sometimes they're more interested in, playing video games and all that kind of stuff, and getting outside's not a priority, but yeah, it's a good thing to do, isn't it? It's a good thing to get out and make sure you do some exercise, certainly at the moment where we're inside a lot more. Make Kafuzi great again. Kafuzi is still great, I think. Kafuzi's a great guy. I did really enjoy Kafuzi's review, actually, of the Adizero Adios Pro. Not sure what that was. Something fell down. I was hoping he was going to like that shoe, and I'm really glad that he managed to pick one up and he's enjoying it. He was really enthusiastic about it. So much that he said he just couldn't quite control his pace and the enjoyment of running in the shoe. And I really liked that. I really enjoyed that video. Chris, that running guy is here. He says, how did I find the Tempo Next in the wet? He's yet to try his out. Yeah, they were fine in the wet. Working out really, really well. They certainly... They seem to have a different consistency of the rubber up in the front, Chris. I find them it's a little bit harder. The one on the Alpha Fly is a bit more sort of malleable. So they're quite different, but I found them okay, no problem at all. They didn't take on a lot of moisture either. They did get very, very wet on one run, and they didn't really absorb too much. So yeah, I was really, really happy with that. Oh yeah, guys, I'm sorry about that, but I really needed some extra power. So yeah, I'm sponsored today by the drink, which sort of tastes like cough medicine, I suppose, but I needed something. I was low on juice. Joe Wayno is here. He says, hello from Hayward Field, Oregon. I've not heard of that place. Awesome. Your thoughts on the Clifton Edge? It's not a shoe I've thought about picking up, really. Again, with Hoka shoes at the moment, the upper, to me, I don't know whether it's just in my size or something. It just seems out of proportion, perhaps, with the rest of the shoe. I don't know if it's just that specific size, but in those higher sizes, they just don't really fit me well. Chris, my hip's fine now, actually. I don't know with that run, I don't know whether something just got trapped or something while I was asleep, or maybe Beast was asleep on my leg or something in the night. I don't know, but getting out for a run, it just seemed to solved the problem. So I'm feeling nice and nimble again now. You know, I could go out there again right now. I'm not going to do that. It's far too wet. And I need some rest. Rob says it has paused a few times. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that, guys. It's a bit strange. Nothing different to normal. I don't know whether there's an issue with the internet connection here, perhaps. Something to do with the weather, I don't know. But I've not changed anything here. But hopefully you can hear me and see me, and I'm coming through okay. Yeah, Goldshan, I'm not sure what's causing that. Rooster says, I had a better experience with the SL20.2 today. Great grip on wet leafy pavements. Yeah, I've got a feeling that the outsole's probably going to be one of the best parts of that shoe, for me at least. It certainly seemed to be a slight improvement, maybe, I don't know, on the previous version, but I'm not convinced about the rest of it. But as you know, I shall keep persisting with it and see what we can get from it. Martin Geeden, 1972, says racing's back at the Olympic Park next Sunday, with the London half finally going ahead, if Boris allows it. Yeah, this is the thing, let's hope. From many perspectives, Martin, I hope that that doesn't happen, as in that it stays in the same tier that it's in right now. That has a lot of implications for me in terms of being able to see my daughter, and that would be, you know, it'd be pretty heartbreaking if I didn't get to see her at Christmas. So yeah, don't want to think about that. Space Manatee has been out in the Triumph 17. Yeah, picked up some extra water, I bet. That's quite a plush shoe, Space Manatee. I can imagine that sort of sucking up the moisture, a bit like SpongeBob, and it getting a little bit heavier. Good day. Ben Browning says, what's everyone's COVID-19 shoe? What do you mean, like lockdown shoe? I suppose. I'm not sure what my lockdown shoe would be, actually. What's been the shoe I've put the most miles into? I'm not really... I think the weirdest thing was that literally just as I managed to get hold of the Alpha Fly, was when the lockdown happened. It was like the next day or something. I just remember thinking to myself, you can't be serious about this, right? I've just managed to pick up this shoe. It was a bit of a boon, you know, for the channel to get the shoe that early, and then just have no races. I was a little bit cheesed off about that. In fairness, that's probably my lockdown shoe. I think it was there right at the start, and I'm still using it at the end of it now. So I think that's probably my lockdown shoe. Maybe the 1080 as well, though I was using that just before the lockdown as well, so just came in sort of between the two things. Steve says he's been using the Peg 36 Trail Gore-Tex, even for roads as well. Legend React Shield, but not running them yet. Yeah, do try that one out. The Legend React is really great, Steve. I really enjoyed it today. My feet were just completely dry with the sealskin socks as well. I came back in, I was just walking around going, look, my feet are completely dry. And nobody was there. So I was just telling the cat, you know. That happens a lot. It's strange, it seems like the stream's okay in some places and not others, because some people got no problems, other people buffering, and yeah, I don't know what it is, guys. Maybe Mrs. EDDBUD is doing something to the cable downstairs, you know. It might be her. It could be Beast. Beast isn't here, so it could well be something to do with Beast. I'll keep on rolling, and hopefully, you know, we can get some information across. Steve A, he says, good evening, Ed. It's 12 sleeps until Christmas. That's not good from a man that's got to do a lot of Christmas shopping this week. I've got to get down to it. Ali says, hi Ed, thanks for the great videos. Thank you for watching, Ali, I appreciate it. What are your views on training carbon fibre plate shoes? How often do you rotate your shoes? So I rotate quite a bit because there's quite a lot of shoes that I've got in for test at the moment. I would suggest in carbon fibre shoes, I wouldn't tend to use them more than maybe once or twice a week. And the reason behind that is that they're not all the same. Some of them are a little firmer, some of them are very, very cushioned. I just feel that they're removing perhaps a little bit of the motion of running that I think we all need to practice and train doing, if that makes any sense at all. I think it's good to run in some standard shoes and do a lot of those sort of easier miles perhaps in those standard shoes. I think that makes a big difference. Wearing them for tempo and speed work and intervals, things like that, no problem. Steve A says, do I think that the Endorphin Pro is more difficult to make the plate work against the RC? Yeah, I mean, the Fuelcell stuff in the RC Elite is just so squashy. The Endorphin Pro midsole is just that bit more sort of dense, I suppose, where it's got a different setup. It's those small, almost like boost-like beads of P-backs that have been sort of crushed together. And it's a lot more dense. There's less kind of a pillowy type feel to it. So I would suggest that they're kind of different shoes for me. Very, very different. I always felt like the Saucony is very much its own thing, whereas the RC Elite is a little bit more like the Vaporfly 4% Flyknit was. That's how it feels to me. Ben found his Tempo Next percents a little slippery. Oh, I didn't really find that too much with mine. I found them pretty good on the wet roads. Triple R says the Meta Racer has caught his eye. Is it worth the 200 US? Yeah, I remember I got mine for quite a bit less than that in terms of conversion. I think it's a shoe that will work for some people and not others. If you like a more responsive sort of feel, great. It's not going to be for everybody. If you want that pillowy cushion, I think that's why so many people go Next percent. But if you like the pillowy cushion, you've got to go for that. It won't be for everybody. I know, I think it was it 40 runs tried the Meta Racer out. I'm not sure if that worked for him too much. So everybody's different, aren't they? Everyone has got a slightly different requirement. Let's keep on rocking through some of the questions. I will have to draw this one to a close a little earlier today, guys. So I've got a few bits that I need to take care of later. Andrew Priest is here. He says, hello, Ed. Hello, Andrew. Thanks for joining us. Mel N, I think, says hi, and there's a fox. A fox. Ricky ordered the Nova Blasts based on my recommendations. He's excited to get them. I hope they work out for you, Ricky. Ben Browning, I did see some pictures exactly of what you said with the Tempo Next percent splitting. Not the Alpha Fly. The Alpha Fly, where the rubber ends, there's just a gap, so there's nothing else there. But yeah, I haven't seen any of the Alpha Fly splitting at all, but certainly the Tempo Next a few times. Lit Arbres says no more shoes until 2021 for you. Oh no, that's not good. I've still got the Summitros. It's sitting here waiting for me. It's calling to me like a siren saying, run in me, EDDBUD, come on. So I've got to go out in those. I might push them back till the following week yet, depending if those React Infinity Run 2 turn up tomorrow. They should be here tomorrow. As soon as they're here, I'll post a picture up on my Instagram and on the community section of the YouTube channel too, so you can check them out. I've gone for the red version, so yeah, I'm really excited to get those. Really excited because I loved the Infinity Run last year when I got those ahead of time as well. I loved that shoe. It was one of my favourites of that time period. So Mark Hawkins, give me some good news. That is not good news. Apparently Hacker's been sent off again. Well, that's yeah, I think that's probably the end really for Arteta. If they don't get something from this one, it's bad news. Gulshan Paul says the COVID-19 shoe for most people is a pair of slippers. I like that. Andrew Priest says he's got 2 shoes at the Mo, the Run Fast 2 and the Infinity React. What would you suggest as the third, but don't tell my wife? I like it. Well, you've got something there, the Infinity React, that's good for those everyday sort of miles. You've got the Run Fast 2 for some faster pace sort of tempo stuff. So you could always, you know, get yourself a nice race shoe, something nice and snappy. What would be the shoe though? Why don't you guys in the chat tell Andrew what he thinks he should get that would work out? But obviously, don't tell his wife because we'll all get in trouble then. We don't want that. Chris McLean says it's all been about Reeboks in the lockdown, the Energy 2 and the Summitros. Yeah, I need to get out on that Summitros. I was really pleased to see that Kafuzi took those, are they called the Reebok Grow? Which look like a Energy 2, but a more sustainable version. I'm glad he took those up to 100 miles. I think he kind of enjoyed those. It's a great shoe. Yeah, just you can't beat the value of that shoe. It's just immense. Yeah, the Meta Racer. I don't think I've got the other shoe out here. Got to be careful not to knock down all those Lego things up there. It took me a long time. It does remind me how light this shoe is. It just really pops as well. Look at the colour on that. It's crazy. I don't know what they make it with. Some sort of magic ink, maybe. I don't know. Joe Wayno says top 3 running watches. I've only tried out a couple of watches this year. I mean, alongside my Apple Watch as well, which I don't talk about anymore after that marathon debacle. That was soul destroying. Can you imagine that? You run a marathon just as you've reached the goal and you're getting ready to celebrate with a nice cool glass of Guinness when you get home, and it doesn't save and you lose it. That was horrible. I'll talk more about that in my review of the year. I'll talk about that in great length. Leabris is liking the Garmin 245. I haven't used the music feature of that Garmin yet. I need to give it a whirl as a music guy. Aaron McCoy says, after moving from Suffolk to New Zealand, finally used his Peg 36 Trail this weekend, and then finally made sense. Awesome. Well, moved to New Zealand. There's a place I would love to go and visit New Zealand. Definitely. Steve A was doing 18 miles of hard slog on the trails in the mud. Yeah, the 270s, certainly not full-on designed for mud. Not too bad on just standard mud, but UK December mud, I just don't think they're quite cut out for it. But then again, they make other shoes which are designed for that. That Mud Claw is the one. Trail racing shoe, if you're on a reasonable trail, go G270. It's like a road shoe. That's how it feels. It's a great shoe. Roll Drupa says, I'll wave back at you. How you doing? Hopefully I pronounced your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. I did my best. Chris McLean says there is a new Vaporfly colourway. It either looks like a Blue Ribbon Sport. Yeah, it does either look like that or like an Ekiden version. I'm not sure I like the Next Percent Ekiden version for this year though. It's not as good as the last one. That last one was absolutely superb. But that Blue Ribbon one, if it is, that one looks interesting. Ashley Hopkins says he's enjoying the Nova Blast. Run 3 times in them and they're amazing. I did like the Nova Blast more as a daily sort of shoe. It felt as if I was putting in a lot of juice to go fast in that shoe. It was sort of soaking up the energy rather than giving it an awful lot back. But I really enjoyed it in terms of cushion after I'd done more sort of harder paced, high effort sessions, I guess. Samantha Jenkins is here. How you doing, Samantha? Hope you're doing all right. She says, snowing here unexpectedly for South China. Interesting. What sort of temperatures have you got then at the moment, Sarah? Is it Samantha? Is it sort of pitching, as it were? We always call it pitching over here in the UK, where the snow falls and it actually doesn't disappear; it stays. Because sometimes if it's too warm or it's been wet recently, it just disappears really quickly. It'll be interesting to see if it stays. Ben Browning says, EDDBUD and viewers, how much has lockdown and the pandemic affected your 2020 mileage? My mileage has been huge this year. I think I'm closing on 2,200 miles, I think. I think I'm almost at that now, maybe another 8 or 9 miles, something like that. So it's been great, you know. I've been able to get out more and more often on a more consistent basis. But some of that has been down to ensuring that I stay fit and healthy as well. And sometimes I've been staying much closer to home rather than going out doing longer runs further afield. When our little person was due to appear, obviously I stayed a lot closer to home. So yeah, it's been good. From that point of view, there's been lots of other things in the world that have not been good this year. Roll is saying his Nova Blast arrived, is just waiting for the endorphin speeds. Awesome, on Tuesday. Yeah, I hope they work out for you. I think you'll love the speed. That is a great shoe. Everybody's enjoyed that shoe this year. Almost everybody. You know, you find me someone that didn't like it. It's very, very few and far between. Ben Browning says the Simitros is a pretty good looking shoe. It's a good looking shoe. Stephen Neuwertz just said he's popped in just to say I love you, Ed. Love you too. Ben White, any recommendations on a general trail running shoe or the wide toe box beside Ultra El Topo? Yeah, I would say go Ultra on that one if you're after a bit more toe box room. That seems to be the way. And that leads me on nicely to Body by Duff. He says, hi EDDBUD, did you enjoy The Mandalorian this week? It is the way. Yes, I did. It was... you had 2 episodes in a row that were absolutely stupendous. And I think this was a good one just to sort of... We were right up here, weren't we, with the last 2. And this one just brought us down a little bit, ready for the big finale episode of this season. You know, just before Christmas. Oh, man. So good. I'm not going to give anything away in case any of you out there haven't been watching, but yeah, if you're a Star Wars or just general good TV person, you know, this is one you've got to check out if you can. Ben Browning says, sorry to bring this up, but will Brexit, blimey, Brexit. I sincerely hope that it doesn't make it more difficult to buy guitars, effects pedals, vinyl, shoes, anything. I'm sure it's going to cause some trouble. And I think now people are finally realising, oh, you know, I thought that right at the start, but it just seems like an absolute and utter waste of time and money. You know, but other people probably got some views on it, but to me, it just seems like there's other stuff to worry about right now, right? But that's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion about stuff. And that's what makes the world go round, right? Rocky Runs is in the house. He says, hello, everybody. Hello, Rocky. Did you enjoy? I hope you run with less rainy. No, it wasn't. It was really rainy out there today, Rocky. It was very wet. I didn't see any other runners. There was a few brave people walking their dogs and things like that, but that was about it. It was really quiet out there today. So I'll get round to a few more questions before we reach the end of the live stream. I imagine my buddy Kafuzi is got one at 9, so I don't want to cut into his time. Stefan says, what was the last race I took part in? So the last proper race was the Sherborne 10k, and that was back in March. There's not been an awful lot going on here. It's been a few trail races, Stefan, but that's been about it. So Samantha Jenkins says it was 0 degrees. Also, the snow will probably stay around, which I don't know how that affects sort of transport, travel and all that sort of stuff. Steve A says, do I think any Saucony will make any endorphin tweaks next year? I would imagine that will be a top thing that they'll do, is improve the outsole. That was the one little bit that didn't quite work for me. I'll tell you, the outsole that didn't look like it was going to be a winner, but absolutely nailed it, is the Adizero Adios Pro. Now, on the box of this shoe, it distinctly says that the title of the shoe is the Adizero Adios Pro. So I'm just going to make that very clear, because somebody said, oh no, it's just the Adios Pro. Okay, well, the full name as listed on the box is Adizero Adios Pro. So I'm not going to ever mention it again. But the outsole on here just gets better and better and better. I don't know why it works. I don't know how, because it just seems too smooth to work in the wet. But it does. How does it work? How does it work? I don't know. If anyone knows, or they have some sort of hypotheses as to why it works, let me know. Mark Hawkins says Burnley are 1-up. This is not good. Stefan says, how do I avoid injury when your mileage is so high? So every day before I go out running, whether it's 3 miles, 10, 15, whatever, I always make sure I spend about 20 to 30 minutes doing some very light dynamic stretches. So a little bit of yoga as well, and just making sure that I'm nimble, that I've just stretched things out a little bit. I'm feeling kind of like nothing's rusty, and I do some work afterwards as well. Sometimes in the evenings, just with the foam roller, just making sure I'm stretching things out and everything's kind of working out. Like I've got the WD-40 and just squirted it in a few places, and I'm kind of feeling good. I'm feeling like I could put on some music and I could dance without any restriction. That's how I do it, and making sure that I eat well and recover well as well. Let's see what else we got going on here. There's all sorts of things. Samantha Jenkins says, smash that like button. Yeah, it really does help, actually. It helps the channel out massively. If you are in the chat, do hit that like button on the video. It really does help out. Ben Browning says, do I have any Atreyu running shoes coming? No, I haven't. I did almost pick up the Artist, but the shipping and the tax was huge, like, on that shoe. It almost like made it wasn't like double, but it was a lot. It was like at least another 50 or 60% on top of the price of the shoe, which made me sort of second guess a little bit, and then I fell asleep, actually. I know people say sleep on it. I did actually fall asleep and I missed it. So there we go. Kavuzi said on his live stream wants to live with them, but it seemed an ingredient was missing in the Atreyu. Okay. Orange Goblin, he says it's true, Ed, you feel the love watching your videos. Oh, thanks. I'm glad that they bring some enjoyment. I'm glad if it makes a couple of people smile, it's got to be worth it, right? Kev Burmaster's in the house. He says the last vlog was classic. The shoe ornaments were hilarious. Yeah, I'm going to try it again, but the problem is if I got any heavier shoes on there, Kev, the tree started to come over like it was going to fall down in classic fashion. I mean, it would have made for a great YouTube video. There I am, you know, talking about, I don't know, January to March or whatever, and then suddenly the tree just falls on me. I'm pretty sure it would have become a viral hit, but there we go. Well, I've got to be a little careful in the next one because I've got heavier shoes to use there. Marcus Rabber says, any injuries any injuries related to your running? No, not really. I used to get a really bad back all the time, Marcus, and I just don't anymore. It seems running just has alleviated that completely. So that's another good thing for running, and it kind of means that I can eat pizzas whenever I like, which is it's a good thing. Timothy says the grip on the Adizero Adios Pro, he heard it was outsourced, the same stuff for climbing shoes. Interesting. Now, I know a chap down at a climbing place very nearby. What I might do at some point is take it down and actually see if he's got any views on the rubber that's here. And see if, yeah, I mean, there's so much friction there. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Andy Seals here. Hi Andy, how you doing? Yeah, Mark Hawkins. Yeah, it was really expensive. The shipping and the tax and stuff on there. Maybe if there's another round of them, I'll grab some. Ash G's here. Hi Ash, how you doing? We need to get out running, Ash. Over Christmas, if you're back running, we'll go out and run together, socially distanced. We've got to do it. We're so close. I see you on here on the internet, but we've got to do it. We've got to go for a run. Ben Browning says, on the positive side, how's it going with the vaccinations? I think it's all happening. I know it's my grandfather-in-law. That's a thing, isn't it? He's having one soon because he's quite a bit older, and I think my mum and dad possibly soon as well, and my brother-in-law as well, hopefully soon, because those guys, we need to take care of those guys. Hugh Jones says the hat must have cost some serious earth credits. No, this wasn't too expensive. I think it was about £15 or something. I bought it from a vintage shop in Exeter down in the southwest. It's a nice hat. It keeps the old noggin nice and warm. That's what you need this time of year. Ben Wise says money doesn't grow on trees, but luckily running shoes do. Yeah, I guess some running shoes do actually grow on trees, sort of, because you've got those sustainable shoes that Mike's been trying out. And yeah, the Allbirds. I need to get back out in the Allbirds as well. It's not a good time to run in those right now, though. When a wool shoe in this sort of weather would be a bad idea. Yeah, the Hover Machina would have flattened the tree for sure. I'm not putting that shoe onto the Christmas tree. That will cause some serious problems. Right, guys, I'm going to draw this one to a close now, so you've all got time to go and get yourself a mug of warm tea, maybe a few bourbon biscuits, perhaps, or custard cream. You could put some microwave popcorn in and get that ready just before Kafuzi's live stream. I may dip in there as well and just say hi to Mike. Check how he's doing on. I did see that Kafuzi was wearing actually one of my shirts the other day. That's really awesome. It's kind of cool when your hero is like wearing your shirt or something. Yeah, because Mike is my hero in terms of running. He's a real inspiration in terms of my running. I don't think I would have started a channel at all if it wasn't for Mike. So I just, I really miss those vlogs, One day, Mike and I are going to go and have one of those burgers that he used to have on a Friday before he went and taught at the uni. We're going to go and have one of those and do some running around that beautiful lakeside there in Chicago. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. You mark my words. It'll happen. Right, I'm going to call this one, guys. I want you all to stay safe. Make sure you got your Christmas shopping done, and I'll be back with you for another video tomorrow. Don't forget, we've got, fingers crossed if all goes well, it's the Nike, I always get the name of this shoe wrong. It's the Nike React Infinity Run 2 coming up tomorrow, if it arrives. I'll be really surprised if I get this shoe so early before anybody else. It will be a total boon for the channel, but hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. So take care guys, have a great evening or day or morning or whatever, and I'll be seeing you very soon.